Okay, what channel are we in?
We are. Somebody, I think Dart, has renamed all the channels without checking.
Right. Give me a second while I just link everybody to this chat channel, please. Sorry.
Give him a slap around the head next time you see him.
Yep. Actually, Zed's okay. Zed's appeared in here, but we haven't.
I appear everywhere.
The Scarlet Pimpernel.
I do love these people that create these websites. Just created a Razer ID, and it says, click on this to verify it. Sorry, the page you are trying to access does not exist. And that's the redirect from the website.
Oh, question, Zed.
Mm.
You know when you DMPFS in your local groups under
Does it take long to report the game though? Because isn't it just a case of just on Chronicles that you just go across the board at the top? Okay. Right. Gotcha. Right. I suppose actually logging into the Pies, let's get into the Pies site. Yeah.
for Paizo to process it sometimes, because they're busy because they've got cons on and stuff like that.
No, it processes it automatically.
Does it automatically do it? Right.
Once you save it and commit it, it appears immediately.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know whether something got done manually at their end. Then there's no excuse then.
Because I've had a Chronicle, and when I checked online just to see that it's updated, it's been there. So they've done it as fast as the Chronicle, and the Chronicle's been like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, I got UKGE reported. One game from UKGE has only just got reported, which was the new one. So he couldn't report that until it was released. But I'd seen it being played for 6 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, something like that, and then it only got reported a week after I chased him on it. And then the latest session at the beginning of July, it's only just gone in as well.
Anyway, it's pissed me off enough. I don't really want to talk about it.
Yep. Surprisingly, I've stayed out of it.
Not
like me.
I was going to make a stupid comment. I thought, no, don't do it.
The impression I got was that
but Zed,
they haven't looked at it from a player's point of view.
Yeah, but Zed, I've been running games since 2024.
Yeah?
What have you got on that?
I've had two people who think they know, think they're amazing because they've been running games since 2017 or 2007, and I'm like, why do you need to tell me that?
Yeah.
I haven't told you how long I've been running games for.
Do you want me to get my dick out because it's bigger than yours? You absolute cock.
All you had to reply was
I run a game
simple
in
reply of
1986.
news would have done the job.
I also have about 450 hours worth of stuff streamed on Twitch Live and on YouTube.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we want to go there, we can go there. Fantasy Grounds, possibly pre V1. I don't know. Fantasy Grounds V1 came out in 2004.
Yeah.
So DDO was 2005.
Yep.
Alpha. So yeah.
We've known each other for 21 years. Fucking hell.
Yeah, sadly.
Are you still friends?
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Depends if they've met up recently.
We don't fall out. We definitely don't always agree on things, but
No, we don't agree, but no.
I'm the same with John. I don't always agree with John, and sometimes I have to bite my tongue because of something he said. But we've never fallen out. We had a period where we didn't speak to each other for about 18 months for things that happened, but
that's the whole thing, isn't it? When friends do disagree, you just go,
yeah,
because they're a dick.
No, the thing is, we said, we might have different opinions, but I'll always value his opinion. Simple as that.
See, that's where we differ. I don't value any of your opinions.
That's fine.
We know that, Mehdi.
I don't even care if you've got an opinion, Mehdi.
Your opinion is like my arsehole, Mehdi.
What?
Stinks.
Well used.
Seen by most of Kent, apparently.
Yeah.
Well used. I like it. Well used. All right, gents. Let us do this, shall we?
If that was live, then they're going to get lots of comments on that comment.
Last time we played, you had finally discovered that a strange creature, whom the lovely Bianca had identified as G42. I want to say G428.
No,
it's 42.
482. Yeah.
Had been somehow let loose upon the unsuspecting people of Mackintown. You also learned that this creature had a way of making people forget that it existed. And indeed, on a couple of occasions, yourselves had just not registered that this thing was there and prowling around. But eventually you were able to trick it into coming to investigate some radio frequencies.
There's a radio transmission on it from
a radio transition where you were able to, at least briefly, see the creature and proceeded to use what can only be described as lethal force in great measure to take this thing down. And I think as we left it last session, the two of you had kind of turned your backs and had kind of started to head back to the building. And then we're kind of like confused as to why you were carrying your rifles out in public and some of the magazines were empty. Not really understanding why that was the case. However, our good friend Marcus is still up in the tower watching this creature seemingly twitch and spasm. And Bianca kind of looks over at Marcus, raises an eyebrow and says, well, that's not good. And I think proceeds to shoot.
I think somebody shouted, "It's still alive."
I think they did.
And we kind of went,
What?
Oh fuck!
What? What's still alive?
What's alive?
And with that, her sniper rifle, for the first time in the entire fight, which didn't last for very long, actually rips a huge center mass hole in the creature's body, spraying viscera. I mean, Sinclair, you see this, spraying viscera and stuff everywhere. What I would like, though, is, and let me see if I can do this properly this time, can both Carter and, Carver and Brent roll 2d6 and plus 4, please. Not roll d12. 2d6 plus 4. The target number is
well
12. That plagued me all last session.
2d6 plus what, sorry?
4.
2d6
4.
plus 4. As this rifle round goes off.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Nice, Carver. Okay, both. Carver, can you now roll me another 2d6, but this time plus 3, please? Brent, you have no idea.
No idea. What the bloody
Okay.
are you doing?
Yeah, Brent, you have no idea. Carver, you kind of look over your shoulder at this rifle round, and you see this creature just kind of opened up with a huge gaping chest wound on the floor. The twitching seems to have stopped, Sinclair. It seems to be not moving.
It got up once. I want to
Right,
make
that
sure
hole.
it doesn't get up again.
Okay.
I will shoot it.
Okay. You can go over. You've got a shotgun, haven't you?
Yes.
I mean, if you're willing and you don't feel too scared about it, you can go over, shotgun, point blank, pull it, blow its head off if you wish.
Before I do that, I will shoot, advance, shoot, advance, shoot, advance. Get close to it after I've hit it at least 3 times, and then shoot it in the head.
Sinclair, you doing anything as this happens? Blanca, is just standing up there with her sniper rifle, just covering in case it twitches again. And you can watch Carver suddenly turned, looked, and kind of gone, oh fuck, and started cocking his shotgun, shooting, cock, shoot, cock. Whereas Brent is still kind of just.
I'm going to be looking around, going, what the hell? See this dirt kicker brace shooting.
Sat there with a Hamlet going, that's a good job done.
And around sort of several of the buildings nearby, you can see a couple of the locals kind of coming out with shotguns or rifles in their hand, kind of looking around, going, what's all this fire shooting going on? Well, they can't really see anything.
I've got my Canterbury cigar.
Nice.
6-hour journey.
Should call you Arnie. Carver, give me one more roll. 2d6 plus. Hang on. Let me work this out for a second. 2d6.
What are you doing, Carver?
1 plus 2, 3. 2d6 plus 4, please.
Attempting to shoot this thing.
No, you can still see it. It's still there. This is something slightly different. Okay.
There's a second one.
You get up close, you keep like pumping a good half a dozen slugs into this thing, and eventually you just watch with satisfaction as the corpse of this creature goes from being discernible to something that just looks like mush. You're convinced it's dead?
I want to look as I'm shooting it for anything crawling out of it.
Okay. Nothing seems to be coming out of it. Give me an investigate roll, though, if you wish.
Oh, yeah. Not skilled in that. Got recon, but yeah, I'll investigate. Let me have a look. What's it under?
Is Marcus seen exactly the same as? Well, I mean, I don't know this, but is Marcus seen exactly the same as what Carver's seen?
Yes.
Oh.
He is currently.
-3 satellite.
I mean, doesn't appear that anything has kind of come out of this thing. It looks like it's in many chunks.
Burn it.
Brent, do you want to come over here?
As you've just been shooting the shotgun repeatedly.
I don't
Come here a minute.
I don't know if you can see this.
Was it a spider?
Brent, I'll give you another 2d6 plus 3 roll. But this is the last one.
Yeah, if it's dead, how is it still invisible to him?
It's a slightly stained, wet-looking piece of road with a number of kind of crater shells from where the slugs have impacted the tarmac.
Yeah, I'll kneel down and I'll be like, yeah, you've definitely killed the road. I would say it's going nowhere, but clearly it's going over there.
It's infected him. Shoot him.
I'm withdrawing. We're sort of like holding myself back from punching him at the moment.
Yeah, I'll
Everybody had grab a bullet, punch him from
taking my shot baton and giving him a right good.
I can't currently specifically answer your question, Kath, what you posed, because you need to understand how the creature works for you to know what the answer to that is. At the moment,
Pete, my thing, out of character,
it could be that it's imprinted. It could be that it's imprinted the idea that it doesn't exist already, and that's stuck there.
Well, it could be also the fact that it's saying, yeah, you've killed me. Honest, you've killed me. Look at me now. I'm all mushed up, but he's not really.
Yeah. Can you gather samples of what's left so that we can analyse them at least? See if we can figure out how it's doing this.
Throw me a vial.
Well, I'll take.
He's got the med kit.
I'll take it. I'll take something out of a med kit for you to put something in, like a sample kit.
If you've got that, then yeah. I'll take the sample because I can see it.
Yeah, he's got the advanced med kit.
And then I assume I could just stick something in it and it'll take what it needs.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll do syringe, isn't it? I'll
do that, and I'll turn to somebody who is around about and say, do you have any fuel?
Somebody kind of goes, yeah, I can get some. Why?
If you could get me 2 litres of fuel, and I just require it for a job. It's a health issue.
Looks at you with your kind of shotgun and goes, okay. You're not going to set fire to any of the buildings here, are you?
No, I just need to sanitize this area.
Okay.
Is this where it brings you 2 litres of water, because that's what you use for fuel?
Yeah. Combustible fuel.
He does come back with some kind of oil, like local petrol type stuff that they use to run low tech generators and stuff. Presume this is what you mean?
That'll do. Now you may want to stand back.
He shrugs. Whatever you say.
Yeah, a flamethrower.
Yeah. I'll pour it in a circle around the edge first, and then work my way into the centre and onto the body.
Okey-doke. You can do that.
I'm going to go get some marshmallows.
Okay.
I'll keep.
It's odd that Carver's creating like this stain on the ground. Obviously just damp from the dew overnight. Despite this being a desert planet, of course, it does get cold and dew does appear.
And we collect it with our sickles in the mouth.
Yeah, exactly. All sides. You find it a bit bemusing that Carver's now kind of pouring this fuel down on the ground in a very pretty pattern, and getting ready to set a light to it.
I do think once we get back to the ship, I'm going to have to give you like a full psych evaluation, Carver.
I do think if you suggest that again, I will punch you.
Yeah. Okay. You pour all the stuff out. What you doing?
I will light it.
Okay. You light it. And you watch with satisfaction as bits of this thing start to curl up and smoke and thing. And the ground, the ground does seem to give off more smoke than you'd be expecting. But it's the substance, it's the stuff that they've used to make the road. It's obviously melted and smoky. You know what the Scout Service is like, right? They use all sorts of weird things depending on where they are and what they're creating.
It's true, and you never know what crap's under this sand anyway.
Yeah. Blanca kind of looks at you, Sinclair, and sort of says, "I'm going to head down to your companions. Your call if you want to join me. You might want to stay where you are."
I'll stay up here, and my name's Carter, not Sinclair.
Hey?
Why have you been calling me Sinclair? I'm Carter.
Are you Carter?
Yeah, Marcus Carter.
We've got a Carter and a Carver.
No, Marcus Cole, sorry.
No, you're Cole, aren't you? No, I'm Carver.
Yeah, Cole.
Carter was what you called
I
me.
don't know where Sinclair's come from, but Marcus Cole.
Come on, then. So I've got...
Is it Brent Sinclair?
No, I'm still there.
What?
I've got Marcus Sinclair.
Oh.
Are we sure?
I was...
Marcus Sinclair.
Yeah. You've always called me Marcus, and I had in my head Marcus Cole, because that's where I was basing him on.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Marcus Sinclair. You are Marcus. I was going to say, no, you're Sinclair.
Yeah, because the name isn't on my character sheet, so I'm looking at the rest of it.
Okay, yeah, she kind of looked at me and says,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what your role was.
Me, yeah. I was engineer out of Uzlos.
So you rolled that. Right, Marcus, can you give me another 2d6 plus 3, please? Actually, make it 2d6 plus 4. Okay,
not that roll.
You're in the same boat. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's up to you. She's going to head down. She kind of pats you on the shoulder, kind of says, "Well done. That was a close one," and heads down through the hatch and downstairs.
She's recommended me stay up here.
She has a moment, yes.
Yeah. Do I still see it, or don't I see it now?
No, you still see it, okay. And you see it burning quite merrily.
Right. Okay. I'll stay up here, keeping my eye on it, because I don't want to forget it if I can help it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I look away and come down, I might do.
Okay. After about 20 minutes or so, the fire starts to die down, leaving just bits of ash, a bit of bone and stuff, but mostly just ash in a pile. Several of the other locals have all kind of come around and gathered around, all kind of looking at you, and sort of you're getting the same question. It's like, why on earth have you set the road on fire?
There was a contagion, and it had to be neutralised. Trust me, I'm an engineer.
They're not. Okay. Sort of, as this happened, Blanca kind of looks at the two of you and goes, "Gentlemen, this looks like it's over and contained. Let's head back to my house. A few things to talk about."
Certainly, Blanca.
It could possibly be over. We don't know how they reproduce. And it's had plenty of victims.
Yes, it's had several victims, but I don't think reproduction is a thing that it's really concerned about. Like I said, gentlemen, please, let's not talk here.
Well, that was very strange. I've no idea what you're talking about, but let's go inside and get a coffee or something.
We can do that. Again, Marcus, up in the top, you've watched this kind of fire die down, and gradually you see people kind of dissipate as the fire goes down. Most people can see the fire and they can see the smoke coming from the fire. They're just all puzzled as to why it was set. And then gradually you watch as your two companions kind of head into the building, and Blank kind of whistles up at you. Sinclair, come join us.
Yeah, I'll head down.
Okay. Well, that was an interesting afternoon. Firstly, thank you. Not that it'll matter much, because you probably don't really remember what I'm talking about, do you?
Do we?
And she,
Do I?
I certainly don't.
No, none of you do. You have no. Okay, she goes, don't worry. Let me try and explain. So, gentlemen, you will probably find that you've expended several rounds, if not clips, of ammunition. And you generally remember that you were shooting at something. You probably think you were shooting at a building or the road or something along those lines. You weren't. You were shooting something that I believe is called G482. My view, based on my limited research, especially since our good friend Bernadetta and her group had come to see me about this creature not too long ago, is that this is something from the ancients. Yes, I can see you're familiar with the ancients, or you've at least heard of them, I hope. And
Yeah,
yes, you
indeed.
have. Yeah, G482, some kind of creature. As best as I can tell, it has some kind of invisibility to most species that it is believed were seeded in the galaxy by the ancients. And only those species that were never touched by the ancients in one form or another, like the Aslan, like Bernadetta and her Solari genes, Solomani, not Solari. Solari's our genes.
Her salami jeans.
Salami. Yeah.
Solami genes. The Solomani, it is claimed, were never touched by the ancients, were never seeded amongst the universe. This creature seems, this invisibility, it's not really an invisibility cloak as such. It simply just doesn't register in your minds. It doesn't exist, for want of a better purpose. And you will do everything you can to rationalize events that you are seeing away from this creature. As you can imagine, it's quite a horrific thing. People who are killed by this cease to exist as far as anybody else is concerned. They just weren't there. So you've done the town a good service, and for that, I am very grateful.
If it's true what you're saying about this creature, then why are we still affected by it?
Because you're programmed to not register it, whether it's
Right.
alive or dead.
And that's because I'm Valerian.
And that's because you're not Solamni, yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Is there a way to reprogram us so that we do remember it? The
There
queue?
is. Yes, there is. It's a lot of time and exposure to the thing. I was hoping most of the time in very adverse situations, near-death experiences, firefights, combat, you can overcome your desire to just blank this thing out of existence, like I believe some of you had done during the firefight. But as soon as the danger is over, then it's highly possible that you will simply forget again.
So it's
Think
like
of
an
it as
adrenaline thing.
Exactly. Think of it. I was going to say exactly. Think of it as an adrenaline rush. Over time, you can keep repeating these activities, and eventually, you can break the cycle. I believe that's what happened to Indy. No,
And it was indeed.
to Nanto. I believe that's what happened to Nanto.
Nanto.
No, Nanto was on the ship. So it's Indy who was the engineer who you found under the bridge. Yes, I believe that's what happened to Indy. She was able to eventually overcome this aversion programming that she'd been given through her genetic disposition, and was able to see this creature for what it was. I don't believe Nanto ever did. And that kind of explains much, right? If you think maybe he didn't realize why the ship had a life support system that was seemingly empty, maybe caused him to want to, I don't know, run some kind of cleaning cycle, reset cycle, allowing the thing to escape in the first place. I just know that Benedetta
as
was...
she's talking, I'm going to take my sample that I've got, the sample tube that I've got, disconnect it from the device, and then pop it back in my pack, in my medic, because clearly it's empty.
Yeah, it's empty. Yeah, it's looking a bit grubby. You probably want to wash it out. You've probably used it before. It's probably contaminated. So at some point you're going to need to put some alcohol in there and give it a good clean out and sterilise it, etc. But yeah, it's...
Does she see that when he takes it out?
Yeah. She kind of looks at you. What are you doing with that?
Just going to put it away. I don't know why I had it out in the first place. So I don't want to carry it around in case I smashed it.
Can I?
And she holds out used.
She holds out a hand. Can I?
Yeah, it's just sampled. It's just a sampled tube. There we go.
She untwists it, and she kind of looks in it, and then she kind of thrusts it at you. Give me another 2d6, all three of you. 2d6 plus 2. It's harder. No. Yeah.
It's such a hard roll.
It is a...
What's that?
Brent, give me another 2d6 plus 2. No. Okay. Yes. So as she kind of goes like that with you, you kind of flinch back as you see this kind of flesh-like substance sitting inside the bottom of the test tube, and you for a minute think she's going to throw it at you.
What you doing?
Yeah.
It's empty.
There, yes. And she kind of holds it up. To the two of you, it just looks like you can see it. To the two of you, it just looks grubby.
What the hell is this stuff?
This is the creature. What's left of it?
Oh my life! I'll take it off her. Is it safe?
I wouldn't recommend eating it.
And then I'll do what she did to me. I'll quickly wave it in front of Carver and Marcus.
Okay. The action was going to throw it on you.
Well, I'll go. Look at this.
Okay, I'll give you both another 2d6 plus 2 roll. We're pushing the limits here. Oh, Carver, you can see that there is some kind of reddy bluey coloured flesh-like substance. Do you know, for the sake of this, I'm going to give you, Marcus, I'm going to give you the vision as well. So the three of you can see that there is this like flesh-like substance inside the test tube.
Right.
Both of you... Right, all three of you give me one more 2d6 plus 2 roll.
Well, what I'm going to say is, don't take your eyes off it if it's like she says, and if you can see it.
Close, but no cigar. Definitely not close. Okay.
Brent's got it.
Brent. So you won't realise this right this second, but you have broken the programming. You will always be able to see a G482 species wherever you are. So you might want to make a note of that. No. Only if there is one there. But I mean, to you two, there is not one there. Neither of you two have managed to break the conditioning yet.
It's when I turn around, they're all behind us going, "Hello."
No.
So Blanca, you were saying that this is something to do with my race and heritage and ancestry being touched by the ancients somewhere.
Indeed.
Is that right? Has that left the genetic marker that allows us to be affected?
That is my supposition, but without serious genetic DNA research, I'm not 100% sure. But based on my conversations with Bernadetta and Indy, I do believe that is the case. Yes, these ancients playing God with humanoid humanity, treating you to be something to be used and thrown away.
Sounds like I'm in the army again. Oh, sorry, what?
Indeed, I suspect these are very much the assassins of the ancients. God help us if any of these were unleashed en masse in a general humanity population.
This is very, very unsettling. And is there any movement in this tube? Or is it just dead matter now?
Dead matter.
That's one thing. At least it can't heal itself as such.
So you managed to find at this point she's kind of pottering around the kitchen area, getting some cups and some coffee brewed and stuff. You managed to find Nanto and Indy. Did you find Bernadetta's body?
No. We were going to go back out.
We may have done.
Or some of it.
We may have done. There were a lot of body parts under that bridge.
Yeah.
Well, we can get the good doctor. What's she called? Amagash Venden. We can get Amagash. She can take a look at the body parts and maybe see if she can distinguish who they might be based on DNA samples of the local citizenry. I suggest we probably take a look around the rest of the town, the settlement as it is, to see if we can find them. I really would like to bring them and lay them to rest.
Yeah, we did see something strange at the pens, but we thought it may have been just a butcher butchering the goats, but now this has become clear to me. Maybe it wasn't. And there was something by the river, wasn't there, in the bush?
While I'm still grasping this, before it slips from my mind, we need to start talking and calling it something else. So if it's linked to the actual name of it, we can say something else. I don't know.
Let's call it Bluey.
But if the doctor has been affected, and for all intents and purposes, these victims have been written out of memory.
Good point.
Would they be able to compare the DNA because they won't see the DNA?
Correct.
Or maybe I can.
It'll show an unknown. Yeah, you might be able to while you've still got your faculties about you.
Do we have
this now?
Do we have any record of Bernadette's DNA to be able to cross-check against? Because we don't know whether she's one of these victims or not.
You don't, unfortunately.
The ship.
Hang on.
If we go to a personal space, there'll be a toothbrush, or a personal pleasurables. I don't know.
But we can't get into the ship anyway at the moment.
Blanca smiles and she says, "I can sort that out." So I'm going to cut this little bit really quick, really short. Over the next sort of 2 or 3 hours, as darkness begins to fall, Brent, you put the test tube away. Put it to one side for for further research and analysis. As far as you two are concerned, you just watch him put an empty test tube back into his satchel. Eventually, you kind of, as it's going back into the satchel, it just suddenly looks empty to you, and you have no idea why he's even got it out. He's not been taking any blood samples or anything. Doing a sweep of the whole town, you discover over in one of the warehouses a body, which Blanca immediately identifies as Bernadetta. Looking at the way she is laid out, she's fairly close to one of the entrances. It looks like she was very close to the entrance of the warehouse, appears to have collapsed trying to reach the door. Someone or something has walked through the pool of almost dried blood around her body into the warehouse and out again. What you notice, Brent in particular, one of the footprints appears to be of an animal with elongated claws.
Right.
Now, to Carver and Sinclair, that's probably one of the local ferocious kind of dog-like, canine-like creatures. And you won't brook any argument with Brent, who kind of tries to explain that it's not. It's like, no, that's exactly what it is. That's the only thing it can be. It can't be anything else. The other thing that's odd is sort of in one of the rooms of the warehouse, sort of quite central inside the warehouse, clearly one of the refrigeration units. The door has been broken outwards, quite twisted and smashed. It's looks like it was never quite locked, but the door itself has been broken out where the clasp or the hinge hits, the mechanism kind of brings the door to a close. And at some point inside, it's quite damp and dripping as the heat is kind of wafted through, but it looks like this was on at some point, and something was tried to have been contained within the actual refrigeration unit. Yeah. And Blanca kind of comments to you all that that's quite interesting, not something she'd noticed before, and muses that perhaps the creature is slowed by the lack of warmth. Not a lot else. So you recover sort of over the next couple of days, you recover the bodies of Indy, of Nanto, and Bernadetta, and you head out to the outskirts of town where Blanca performs sort of a final rites kind of funeral ritual for the three of them.
So I can assume that this creature is cold-blooded?
No.
No, okay.
No, that's not an assumption you can make.
It may not be anything to do with cold-blooded, warm-blooded. It may be something else.
Yeah.
Correct.
But we haven't got enough data points for it.
No. The evening of the funeral, Blanca kind of sits there and she says, well, there's one last thing to do. Gentlemen, feel it only fair that you take the ship. I have no use for it, and I don't believe, given the memories in that ship, that I could ever travel in it again. And frankly, I'm quite happy here. And now the creature is gone, I'm even more happy. I can just continue my life, as it were, here. I have no wish to see the stars anymore. So I am more than happy to transfer over to you the codes to the Garnet. All I ask is that you be respectful of the ship. And whilst I can transfer the codes to you, I cannot transfer legal ownership. So you may use it as you see fit, but not sell it.
No, out of respect for Bernadette, we wouldn't do that anyway. If we do find need for a bigger ship, we will return it here for you.
Exactly. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. It's exactly the same layout and shape as your existing loaned scout ship. The difference is you can keep it for as long as you want, and you're not beholden to the scout service to do anything with it.
Doesn't that one have a pew pew on it as well?
It doesn't at the moment.
Damn.
This one doesn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did ask that when we first arrived.
Yeah, no, much like yours, this one has not been equipped. I don't think it's been. Let me double check. It's not been equipped with a pew pew
But it
turret.
does have a small cryo unit inside, which we can probably sell.
It does have a small cryo unit inside, but otherwise it is pretty much identical. It is. Well, I'll wait for you to decide to go and take a look at it and tell me what you want to do with it.
I'll see what shape it's in for a start, and definitely check the log files to see if we can find any idea where your friend is.
Well, I'm going to ask Bernadette. Sorry, not Bernadette. Blanca about
Sorrel.
Sorrel. Yes, I'll explain that the reason why we were trying to find Bernadette is because I had a message from a dear old friend of mine from my university days, and she was requiring my help, or our help, should I say? And she's asked us to come and find her as quick as possible.
Well, she knows Sorrel. She's giving you stories about Sorrel.
Exactly.
Yeah. She says, yeah, Bernadette mentioned in passing that she'd seen Sorrel, that she'd taken her, but she didn't really tell me where she'd taken her. I do suspect, though, that if you search the ship's logs, you'll probably find some entry to suggest where Sorrel has gone, if you feel the need to follow up on her.
Oh, definitely. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So, heading to the ship. The codes gain you access, and I mean Blanca follows you, and she actually issues a number of voice commands to the computer system, basically registering each of you as recognized authorities to operate and run the ship.
Thank you.
On behalf of, and she says, on behalf of Miss Mercedes Karamaka.
Oh, yeah. Mercedes Karamaka crew.
And the ship kind of acknowledges each of you and registers each of you, granting you full biometric access across the ship. Taking a little bit of time then to kind of go through the logs. You can trace sort of about a month or so ago, Bernadetta and team dropped Sorrel off at something called Fuller Experimental Mining Installation in the Caledonia system. Give me a sec, just clearing a few things down.
Sorry, that was Caledonia system, and what was the place? Sorry, the facility.
The Fuller Experimental Mining.
Fuller Experimental Mining Installation.
Oh, installation, sorry.
And damn it, it's actually not on this map. Pooh. Right, I need to put a new map in. So it is. Where is it? Hang on, I can do it this way, can I? Oh no, it should be on there. Yeah. It is absolutely on here. So.
Oh, Caledonia 2134.
It is there. Caledonia 2134. Yep. I can give you access to the log.
Starport C.
System tells you that the Caledonia Caledonia is a very interesting place. The planetary, the star system itself is a huge. It's a huge red dwarf, I think.
Gas giants. No, planet planets.
Zero gas giants, one planetoid belt, 10 of the worlds.
Yeah, all firearms except shotguns prohibited. So that was all right.
Yeah, we're happy.
The star is primarily a red giant, and your briefing basically tells you that a number of the inner planets have been swallowed up already, and it is in kind of general astronomical terms, slowly but surely gobbling up the rest of the system. And at some point in the near future, everything will cease to exist in Caledonia. As a side note, I saw something the other day to say Beetlejuice is going to go supernova fairly soon. And I'm like, I wonder how long fairly soon is. And if you look, it's within the next 100,000 Earth years. But in relative sense, in like astrological terms, apparently that is very soon.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see that.
But it's like I saw something else. Today that we discovered Pluto in the 1930s, and in 2176, it will complete its first full orbit of the sun since we discovered the planet.
Jesus,
that's like massively crazy.
Yeah. So how old are you? I'm one. You know.
And then have you seen this Ton 816 or 812 discovery? Like this freaking, it's something like, I want to say 6 billion times the size of the sun, and it's a black hole that sits in the center of the universe. And some theories at the moment, I've kind of, I don't know why, but I've kind of got into reading strange theories.
You went into a wormhole, didn't you? Yeah.
Some theories suggest that we actually might already be in a black hole.
We're in it. We're actually existing in a black hole. Yeah, I've seen that.
That's what some theories are, because there is a certain distance where we're not getting any light from at all, and it's based, and people are saying that matches our understanding of event horizons of a black hole, which is quite interesting.
So
anyway,
you were reading about the massive planet that we haven't discovered yet that's out there floating beyond the other planets.
That one. There's
planet 8 or 9, wherever it is. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that's just out there.
Yeah.
And it has ionic storms or something on it, but it's just drifting out away from everything else. I saw a quick article about it. I've not read the article, so I don't quite know what we think about it at the moment. But I'm like, I find this quite fascinaking.
I think I might have caught that on Star Talk, or maybe one of Brian Cox's chats or something like that.
Yeah, I like Brian Cox. I think some of the stuff he's done is amazing, and some of his views on life is good. But the Star Talk guy, what's his name? DeGrasse. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think I probably heard about it from Ancient Aliens or one of those Discovery shows.
Yeah. All right, what else? So, in terms of the ship itself, to all of you, it's obvious that the Garnet was extensively rebuilt. You can see that quite significant amounts of the ship itself, the hull, etc., bear signs of being relatively new, relative in probably measured in years of use rather than 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of use. Much of the ship the weapons turret itself has been replaced with a metal dome that contains many different antennae to augment the sensor systems. There is some evidence, certainly internal, of structural damage, but basically what that relates to internally is that there are several parts of the deck that appear to be slightly uneven and kind of, like I buildings in June, bits stick out where they probably shouldn't stick out. And a lot of the conduit electronics and piping and stuff that would run between the inner and the outer hull have been replaced with a lot of mishmash and, mishmash kind of eccentric, kind of just not quite haphazard, but certainly...
is it like jury rigged?
Yeah. There are a number of panels throughout the ship that have been covered with decorative items. Upon close inspection, you discovered that one such panel near the main airlock. Let me pull up the original high and dry plan 1 second, because it's identical. Where is it? So if you think about the high and dry, so you've got your airlock here. I can't ping it because it's not that kind of map. So you've got an airlock sort of in the northern third, or just above the northern third of the, or at the bottom of the northern third of the ship itself. I can draw on here, can't I? Can I draw
On the right.
here?
Yeah, it's on the right, that corridor next to the toilet.
Just above the two beds.
Opposite the toilet,
exactly.
Yeah.
There is a panel just on the outside of that airlock doorway that, to Carver seemed to look a little bit odd. And when he kind of investigated, inside the panel is an auto pistol and a magazine of ammo.
Okay. Nothing unusual about it? So I've got one of those.
There is another one that is just outside the Iris lift entranceway down into the cargo bay. Another panel, and inside there is a second auto pistol with a single mag. And on those of you with the military backgrounds, you kind of pull them out and you cock them and you check them, and they've definitely been kept well greased, well oiled, ready to go. Unlikely in a, if you need them for any reason to jam the first time you slam the magazine in, cock it and pull the trigger.
It's almost like backup weapons in case they're boarded or something like that.
And that is your summation, yes. They're there as, if you're caught unawares, hijacked allows you to grab a weapon and defend yourself.
And I think we'll leave them exactly where they are, just in case.
Yeah.
At least we know they're there now.
A third panel over in the sort of the crew mess area. Inside there appears to be a number of data chips. Taking a quick look at them, they are all heavily encrypted, and there is no evidence of the decryption key present.
Maybe plug them out
You
to the
can
computer.
You can attempt to decrypt one of the chips as your sole activity in any one sort of travel period. So instead of being able to claim the study period, you can choose to try and decrypt one of the chips. There are 5 in total that appear to contain information.
Any dates or anything that we can read to know which is most recent?
Sorry, I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's any dates or anything to see if there's to know what order they're in.
No indication at all. They're just data crystals that are there, but there's no specific notation on them to tell you what it is you're looking at.
I'm just wondering, the ship's AI might know the encryption.
So, our sensor operator, the electronics and avionics of the Garnet will give you a +1 DM to all sensor and comms checks. They are particularly strong, and you surmise that they've been hardened and designed to punch through interference.
That's good.
The ship's computer and main data storage appears to be very new. As far as you can tell, looking at the logs, etc., that exist on the computer, the date and time of the first entries and sort of the original boot sequence appears to tie in with the refit of the ship. Therefore, there are no entries of previous life. The one thing that you discover, that very first log entry, is basically an entry that talks about registering the ship as the Garnet and is replacing the previous name Belevny. Can we have some, please, Catherall?
I can't get it over there. I'm sorry.
Oh, send it over.
I'd have eaten it before I bring it over.
The one thing, though, that since the Garnet became the Belevny became the Garnet, Bernadetta has done very good at keeping detailed logs of the ship's movement. It will take some time for you to kind of divulge and dig into that. I would say, again, probably a travel period to really kind of dig down and get a detailed investigation of all of the things that the ship has done.
Are you sure that this sorrel of Prince friend is a person? Because there's a system called Sorrel there as well.
Yes.
I think
as far
if
as
a planet was
Well, after the things that we've just had, it could be a suggestion that put in your head that you've got to go and find Sorrel, and it's not actually a friend. It's
planet.
obviously there are the former crew's personal effects and personal logs and entries scattered throughout the ship. Bernadetta Khaled, born somewhere on Soleimani Confederate to a pureblood Soleimani family. It appears that her parents, her early life was unremarkable. Her parents ran a firm. She was suddenly propelled into the hot seat, as it were, when both of her parents were killed when the liner Multan suffered a catastrophic reactor failure. She gained a significant compensation payout due to serious misconduct amongst the operators of the ship. Having no real desire to be a business magnate, she sold the firm and decided to travel. She had an early sort of yacht, wandered across Solomani space. She visited the High Federation, the Aslan Hierate, and somewhere along the line she began to collect associates. Common interest was always mysteries. Sooner or later, though, that interest in mysteries seemed to turn its attention to the ancients, what happened to them, and whether they may come back. It seems at some point she sold the yacht. It was replaced by a friend offering her the near legendary Garnet. And there's a number of entries that talk about the status of the Garnet. And what you kind of get from that is, yeah, this ship is very well known amongst ancient hunters because of its reputation and the legends associated with what it's done and where it's been. There are rumours, according to some of the logs that she's kept, that suggested the Garnet was present at Twilight's peak. And so she took on the Garnet.
Refresh my memory if you've been told about this before. Twilight's
You
Peak.
have not been told about Twilight's peak.
I was going to say, because it sounds familiar to me as well.
Didn't hear anything for that.
As far as you're aware, the tale goes that a badly written novel in the form of an epic poem surfaced briefly and then just as suddenly vanished without a trace amongst many of the terrible self-published books on the datanets. It was named Twilight's Peak, and it contained a far-fetched tale of an ambushed convoy, shipwreck, and the struggle of a crew to survive a terrible winter in a strange octagonal-shaped building. And yet here you have, in amongst the personal effects and logs of Bernadetta, some hint that the Garnet was actually involved in something called Twilight's Peak. Bernadetta was listed as the ship's owner aboard, but not a skilled crew member. So she would often act as a steward or assisting others with extra, where she could be helped. It seemed that her most recent endeavours were to learn how to operate sensors and communication systems. She was generally recognised as the undisputed leader, but she was basically responsible to handle everything outside of the ship: brokerage, finding contacts, investigating finds, locating jobs, etc. Her cabin is very neat, contains very few personal effects. In the spare cabin, it seems that her wardrobe has spilled out. She has plenty of different business attire, formal dress, working clothes, etc. There also seems to be a number of items that could be used to change appearance: wigs, minor prosthetics, etc.
Sounds like a lady for all seasons.
Nanto,
Sounds like a spook.
Kanantog Kazter, the pilot and astrogator, called himself Nanto, was a Varga. Seemed that he spent a lot of his time on a small merchant ship, becoming bored, leaving in search of something more interesting, where he was hired by Bernadetta as the pilot astrogator for her newly acquired ship and has been with her ever since. A number of comments in his personal journal suggest that Nanto was never fully on board with the idea of being an ancients hunter, but what he did enjoy was the travelling around to strange and wonderful places in the galaxy. And then Indy Dai was the engineer. Indeterminate origins, definitely an ancients hunter. A lot of her personal logs talk about how she was excited to visit this and that ancients, purported to be ancient ruin, etc. She studied shipboard engineering at university, met Bernadetta, very young, but was very proud of being responsible for the ship's star drives despite her very young age. It seemed that she did look up to Bernadetta in many ways. And that is kind of what you can gather from the ship. Something hurting.
Are there any pictures of Sorrel at all?
No pictures of Sorrel, no.
Okay.
Doing a quick scan of the log, you do discover that there is an entry that suggests, obviously, that Bernadetta and team took Sorrel to Caledonia.
Caledonia. Sorry.
Mhm.
Adverts.
Exactly.
I think it'd be quite respectful if we do maybe a little plaque commemorating the 3 crew.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be spare parts where there'll be a piece of plate that you can put something on, engraving in.
Yeah, you can do that. Not a problem.
Bring us some luck, you never know.
Any reason?
Just out of personal pique, really.
Don't give us a ship.
Yeah, it was their ship, and it's just paying it forward, really. And the fact that we can put on the
Well, she was.
date or year they died.
It was crew on there. They were crew on the ship.
They were indeed.
It wasn't their ship. The owner of the ship's still alive.
It's our ship, but it's ours in a sense, isn't it now?
We're just crew. We're crewing it and using it.
Just humour me.
A small plaque, hidden.
A small plaque hidden
behind
behind one of the panels.
Yeah.
Same one under the refreshers.
Corridor 3, section 17, sub-panel C, behind the dodgy wiring.
Behind the star drive, the radioactive part.
Okay. Well, it seems that your journey on Kalia has come to an end. You have obviously got hints at where you can head to next.
Well, I firstly would like to transfer any supplies we got from our last resupply from our old ship onto the Garnet.
Okay. You can absolutely do that.
We paid
what are we doing with the other ship?
It's the question, what we're doing with the other ship.
Well, I was going to say, can we put a call into
The scouts.
And just let them aware that the ship is here. Send them the codes to get into it.
You absolutely can do that.
And then they can pick it up, can't they?
They absolutely could. Just looking at where the nearest scout base is.
Is this ship better or worse? Or the same?
It is. Its quirks are different. So The key thing is its
Sensors and whatnot.
sensor suite is better than your existing ship sensor suite, but for all intents and purposes, it's the same ship layout.
I don't feel attached to this ship at all.
No, it's fine.
I'd probably take the sensor suite out, transport it onto the other one.
But why? We've that ship back in like
We've got
months.
well, we've got this ship to use, so makes no odds, does it?
Well, we've got the ship to use as long as we want. The scout vessel we have to take back. We had a year of it. And I'm sure we're coming pretty close to that now, aren't we?
You're not close to a year yet, but you, where are we? You are day 149 of year 2105. So you're probably about 3 months or so into usage of this ship. Maybe a little bit less than that.
So in 9 months' time, we're going to have to take the ship back to where we got it, and then we have no ship. Whereas with the Garnet,
We've got this one. It's waiting for us. She doesn't want it.
So what's the difference of just using this one instead of the other one?
I prefer the other one. The other one I nearly died in. The other one I escaped a volcano from in. Yeah. The other one I named.
Well, I tell you what, Garnet.
I know you're not a pilot, but it kind of means stuff.
I understand where you're coming from. Do you want to rename this one? Are we allowed to rename it?
What would we rename it? We've done nothing in it.
You don't own the ship, so you won't be able to rename it.
Can I fire a gun at Carver and then say, "Look, you almost died in this one"?
It could, but you might die after it.
as I run out the back, closing the door. Just think of new adventures that we could have in this ship.
Would be the same adventures I'd have in the old ship.
But it'll be shiny and new-ish.
You've not had a relationship, have you?
No.
You can tell.
So, okay, there are some differences, so let me actually read through the Garnet differences to you. The ship overall is in good working order, but very old, or the core structure. It's been repaired numerous times, shows signs of a very serious combat damage in the past. You reckon that at some point the ship was hammered very badly in some kind of ship-to-ship action. The earliest log is 998, so we are 2105, so 107 or so years ago when she was recommissioned as Garnet. That itself is unusual. Many rebuilt vessels retain information on the former service, even if the registry is changed. The bridge and office is standard for the vessel type. It's very clean, no signs of sloppiness. The office, though, is completely opposite to the bridge. It is a madness room. There are flimsies with data or Bernadetta's analytical scrawlings on every vertical service, string connecting some of them, notes pinned to other notes, and presumably some kind of system to make sense of it all. Different coloured markers, string, paper, pins, books on the shelf, physical paper books. In the centre of a strange clear space on the desk is a large folio of handwritten pages, each carefully sealed in a polymer jacket and recompiled into a volume with a genuine leather binding. Hundreds of pages written in cramped and barely legible handwriting. Seems to be written in some kind of prose poem. The front cover of the book is embossed in gold. The leather is of very good high quality. It does say on the front cover, Twilight's Peak. Let's see. Opposite the airlock, is a locker. Inside that locker is a gun rack holding 4 snub revolvers and a variety of ammunition for them, and space for another 4. There's an equal mix of trank and high explosive armor-piercing rounds. Other than that, there's nothing really odd about the locker. It's just gun cabinet. Bernadetta's living quarters are the 2 most forward cabins, one for living, one as an overspill wardrobe. Both cabins are extremely neat and tidy. Eventually searching through all the items and things in Bernadetta's cabins, you will find stacks more books, but most importantly, money clips with approximately 75,000 credits in them.
Wow.
Books appear to be of ancient, collections of ancient lore, including a rare copy of something called The Works of Professor A.
I'm assuming we're finding all this as we're looking through it before we've taken off or done anything daft like that.
Correct, yeah. I'm making no assumptions that you've left or done anything with the ship beyond. You've spent a couple, 3 days giving it a thorough search over. Spent a little bit of time trying to physically
Put a call into Blanca and ask whether Bernadette whether she had family.
She comes back and tells you not that she knows.
Okay.
Her crew were her family. In the workshop, appears to have been converted not into a workshop but into a multi-purpose laboratory. Chemicals, ammunition loading machine has been repurposed to create snub pistol rounds containing some kind of tranquilizer drug.
Explains how she got this thing then.
The living spaces, the probe drone and chamber and air raft have been rebuilt into common areas. So there isn't an air raft separate space, unlike the Phoenix, and there isn't a probe drone chamber. It is a very well apportioned common area, high quality cooking, and food storage.
Not having an air raft could be a negative.
Could be. Out of everything else, apart from Nanto's personal quarters, the engineering spaces are the least tidy and are quite a mess. And then, of course, you've been into the lower deck, so you've probably you have taken Nanto's body out and kind of hosed the deck down. So in terms of the ship itself, as I say, it's pretty much identical to your existing ship. The difference being there is no real capacity for a twin turret. It's been turned into an upgrade for the sensor systems. There is no air raft and no drone space. That is a common area. So there are some negatives.
That's three negatives that against the sensor array.
The ship itself bears a legendary name,
Yeah,
and so will highly likely draw attention of things like ancient hunters if the ship is located and seen at a starport.
so
That's got
it
that's
could
got as
open
much
some
chance.
doors.
That's got as much chance of being a positive or a negative.
Yeah.
It could open some doors. It could close some.
Could
That's
get
what you get.
shot. That's what it could do.
I'm going to give the three of you an opportunity to roll a very hard. I think it's going to be very hard. Let me just double check. Tell you in 1 second. Very difficult intelligence check. Sorry, investigate check. Sorry, very difficult investigate. So that does require a 12.
Yeah, that's a no one. Unless rolling a 12 actually gets a 12, but that's a no.
Double six is always a. Jesus.
One off. Damn it.
One off. Okay. Yeah, double six would get you a success.
Nope.
That's very hard.
Oh.
You spend a lot of your time, Marcus. You spend a lot of your time in amongst all the engineering stuff, don't you?
Yep, I'm an engineer.
Okay. Bastard. You weren't supposed to find this. Not yet, anyway. Okay. Just on the very last, sort of the last day, as you've kind of finally cleared everything out, and you're kind of musing. I mean, to replace the sense, to pull out the sensor systems and all the extra wiring and stuff, it's not just taking that out. You are going to need to rip out the entire sensor suite and replace that into your ship. And you suspect that that's a good 2-3 weeks worth of work in a high spaceport. Or probably, in at least a high level spaceport, if not somewhere with a shipbuilding facility. And so, Sinclair, as you're kind of mooching around the engineering systems, kind of pondering just how much effort it would take to do this. And you're kind of tracing all the wiring between the sensor suite at the front and up into the dome, etc. And it takes you past the kind of the avionics and stuff. And you notice a strange switch sort of tucked in a corner that clearly states in big, bold letters, on and off. And it is currently in the off position.
Okay. I'll call out to the others.
Okay.
Say, I found a switch here that I want to turn, but it's currently off. I want to turn it on and see what it does. Anyone got any objections?
There seems to be an extra set of wiring that's there seems to be a set of wiring that's leading somewhere behind a bulkhead panel.
Can I follow it? See if I can figure out what it's for?
You'll need to pull the bulkhead apart, but you absolutely can.
Yeah. I'll give it a go.
As best you can tell, it seems to be wired into the guidance and communication systems, definitely in a non-standard manner. Pulling the bulkhead covering away leads you to see an irregularly shaped mass of very dense material that these wires are fused to.
Right. Any idea what it is? Never seen
You
anything
have
like it.
never seen anything like it at all. There are no lights, there are no indicators, there's no etchings, markings, writings, maker stamps. There's just these two wires that seem to have been somehow fused to this block, and these wires run surreptitiously, quite well disguised, but in a haphazard way, to this box, this switch that simply says on, off.
How about if we power up and just switch it on? See what happens.
What happens if it powers something up that shouldn't be used in atmosphere?
Stick it into atmosphere, then turn it on.
Yeah, then we couldn't use it.
I wouldn't do it in a town.
No,
There's a bit,
I was
there's
thinking.
there's a reason it's off.
Yeah, I was thinking take it into space, high orbit at least, and then turn it on and see what happens.
Going back to the center suite, we wouldn't be able to swap it over anyway because we have to get both ships to a high-tech port.
Yeah.
Easily done. Just drone one of the ships to the other, and it follows.
Oh, you can take the first one, then you can walk back and get the other.
You can absolutely do it. Of course.
Go on, let's try that. Let's have some fun.
Okay. So the ship groans and creaks as you take off and take it up into up beyond the planet's atmosphere.
One thing I will swap over is the pilot's chair.
Yeah, what I'll say is, as it's groaning and creaking, I'll say, look, it's got character.
There's a couple of strange popping sounds that you don't hear in your ship.
Sounds like an old marine.
Yeah, that describes me quite well.
Knees and all sorts popping.
Popping, yeah.
Yeah, you get up into orbit.
Bent in a bit of atmosphere.
No, it's the ship is definitely space worthy. It's holding quite nicely.
Yeah. So I am a 32-year-old Marine, so yeah, that does describe me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna flick in all the sensors and keep monitoring them, and then I'm hoping Marcus is gonna flick that switch.
Yeah. Everyone ready? See what this thing does?
Just let me put.
Yeah, seatbelt
Seatbelt
on. Crash webbing.
Let me put the back suit on.
See, I wouldn't expect something like this because I've got to manually switch it on. So it would be kind of stupid to have something
Is it going to be a
that's
switch
going to send me across the...
Is it going to be a switch on a star drive that says turn this on first?
There's nothing that's giving me a clue.
You flick the switch. Let's come back in 10 minutes and find out what happens.
Mother lover.
continue. So
Ali,
Yes, please.
you flip the switch from off to on.
reroll characters.
And nothing seems to happen.
Look around, see what. Follow the wiring, see if anything's actually happening there.
After a few seconds, the lighting in engineering flickers and dims, but then immediately comes back on. Nothing else noticeable happens.
I wonder if it's going to do the jump drive.
Yeah, I'll go back and check that it is still switched to on.
Still switched it on.
Can we run a full diagnosis with it off and on? On power draw and isolate where that power's going if there is a greater power draw.
You absolutely can.
Yeah. Do it with the on switch since we're in that state already, just in case there's a cooldown or something between.
Yeah, somebody else doing that
Useless.
with electronics probably, because mechanics or engineering probably won't. Although I've got power systems engineering, so.
How about if I check astrogation and see what the jump distance is?
So we are in the same place.
Yeah, we're in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
What day is it?
Look out!
What's the date?
Look out the windows.
It's literally 1:55 of 21:05, and that tallies with what you're expecting. So you take a couple of hours to run diagnostics with the switch set to on, switch set to off. With it set to on, there is a definite additional drain on the overall power draw from the reactor. But there are several drains that seem to appear very randomly, both when the switch is off and when the switch is on. Your assumption here is that the power drain of whatever it is that you've turned on is so small that an engineer would most likely chalk it up to tolerances that you would expect on any ship that's had wiring replaced, etc.
Except for fluctuations. So
Absolutely within tolerance levels for any engineer sign off. But there is a draw that is noticeable when you turn it on. Are you going to do some astrogation stuff?
I'll have a go, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the usual astrogation roll.
While it's switched on, I'm going to be wandering around the ship and see if any other panels have appeared, like something's dropped down with another control on it, or something like that.
I'll just bury on, just quickly looking for something. I swear I wrote it down. Why can't I see it? It got a +1 to sensors and a +1 to it's comms, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nice.
That'll do.
That's a good roll. Yeah, astrogation seems absolutely fine. You do notice, though, as you're kind of using the star like you would normally do to kind of calculate and plot the distances for the jump start point, that your first attempt at kind of getting the course points laid out doesn't quite you rerun it, something felt odd, and you realize that the system's mathematical computations that it's spitting out are out by a fraction. Probably like the length of the ship. But you know that that would be enough to throw your jump out and potentially cause jump problems.
Is it by the length of the ship?
Yeah, it's about the length of the ship.
Strange.
I'm guessing this is some kind of ancient tech that enhances jump drive capability. So however long you're in there, you travel that extra distance or whatever, and it adds up. So you actually take less days for the same jump, or it allows you in the same amount of time to jump further.
But if that was the case, then that would have been factored into the calculations. Surely.
The calculations could be there and it's out, but the tech could correct it, and that's why there's a discrepancy. They might not work together that well. So you calculate it, but it just does the jump, and then the magic happens. If it's ancient tech, and these Muppets have somehow managed to wire it in, hodgepodge, then
I'll tell you what,
who knows?
I'll run the same test with it turned off, just to make sure it's not the astrogation computer that's.
Is there any
Is
windows or
is-
displays to see the ship from the outside that we can use to see if anything's changed with it switched on?
Is a question, Zed, as well, once you've answered Kath. If we look at their previous jumps, distance and time taken, are they expected for this drive? Are they what we would expect if we normally calculated it? Or are they jumping further in the same amount of time or that kind of thing?
For the vast majority of the jumps, they are jumping exactly as you would expect them to. What was your question, Kath? Sorry, I was reading something.
Is there any way to see the outside of the ship, whether portholes or scanners or drones or something, to see if anything's changed with it switched on, like something's opened?
You can do that, and no, nothing has changed.
So I've just done a roll, got an 8, a marginal success with it turned off.
Yeah. Calculations come to the same conclusion. Except this time, you don't need to compensate for a slight offset. But it arrives at exactly the same numbers in terms of positioning, time to jump, etc. Course through jump, through worm space, etc. All as you would expect.
No, with it off. Sorry, I'm joking.
Yep.
So with it off, it's doing the correct jump calculations, and with it on, it's factoring out the length of the ship.
Yeah, don't choke. Have a drink.
So I was getting close to doing a re-roll myself. Need
No, that's fine.
you life re-roll. Okay. Well, without doing the jump, which I'm not comfortable with. Um, if you said the length of the ship, then that's going to hardly gain any time, really, isn't it?
We could ask the owner. What the fuck's this?
Yeah, who's the owner?
We can ask Bianca to see if she knows.
Yeah.
Just you get on the radio and just
Okay, get on the radio to Blanca. You describe the thing.
Send her a picture.
Okay.
Yes.
And she comes back to you and she sort of says, interesting. Bernadetta always told me that the ship had ways to enter ancient sites unchallenged. Despite us having evidence of other humanity's ships approaching sites of known ancient origin and being attacked by defensive systems.
So it's an ancient transponder.
You'll
Friend or foe type thing.
Essentially, it's an ancient transponder.
She nods on. She nods in the viewer. She said, "Yeah, that would be a good summation. Yes, at least that is the only usefulness that Bernadetta had ever discovered. If it has more, positive or negative, she never encountered it."
Okay. Thank you.
She nods, smiles, and clicks off the view.
we saw Bernadetta, the body of her. She wasn't missing any teeth, or her hair wasn't falling out, was it?
None of the above.
Okay, so assuming we're going to Caledonia, then I'm assuming we're jumping to via Aki.
Yep.
I do think it's worth having that thing turned off when we jump to Aki,
Well-
and maybe turn it on when we go to Caledonia.
Are you taking the ship now, or are you?
I'll give it a test run, I guess. Not doing how, just see how it flies and see if there's anything else unusual. Not just come back and get the other one after.
Yeah, we won't put the call into the scouts yet.
Okay.
We'll leave it. We'll tell them we're leaving it locked up there.
Well, the good news, the Jump Drive 2, the fuel systems on the ship are pretty much fully stocked, certainly enough to get you to Aki, at which point you will need to fuel the ship. Aki itself is a B-class starport, so it will have high fuel available for purchase.
I'll put everything back to how it was, so it's hidden.
Yeah.
Just so that if it does need maintenance or a service type thing, it's still hidden.
Yeah, it's only because you rolled what you rolled. That was
Yeah.
That was the only way you were going to find it right now. And you bugger, you rolled it. Okay, yeah, you can. Let's go through the process. So, are you going to jump with it on or off?
Off on this jump and on the next one, I think.
Is it any benefit rather than randomly testing on a jump?
While it's still...
as far as you're aware, you're not going. Your destination does not appear to be a known ancient ruins. So, if as you think this is purely a sort of an ancients transponder, having it off, having it on will probably have 0 value for you. And so mechanically speaking, having it on imposes a penalty when you astrogate and jump because of the quirkiness of the device.
Do we know anything about ancient technology?
You know
Right.
absolutely nothing.
We know we've got some in the ship, and that's about it.
The only thing,
the book of Professor A, the works of Professor A, appears to be a treatise on ancient technology. And it conveys a +1 DM to any use, to any kind of attempt to discern, decipher, or figure out what an ancient artifact is designed for. You'll only discover that, though, as you read through the book and look at it while you take your first longest journey.
while it's switched on, because we know that they had something to do with telepaths, I'm going to see if I can detect life, just in case it's biotechnology or something like that.
Sure. Give me a roll.
So detect life is an easy roll. So that's telepathy.
Nice roll. You can only detect the life you are expecting to detect.
Okay, that's fine.
Okie doke. You're going to jump to Aki in your garnet. Yes?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
with it switched off for now, is it?
Switched off. Give me an astrogation check. It is an easy check. However, it needs to be -2.
Oh, still got it.
No, it's going to be a fail because it should be -2 because you're jumping 2 parsecs.
Oh,
Okay.
there's no way to re-roll
Yes.
that, is there? No.
Nope.
No. And it is switched off, so you can't blame it.
Is it,
Yeah.
though?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Can somebody roll the 6D plus 148, please?
Whoa.
That's colourful.
169. It's just over 7 days. Can somebody okay. Could you make I need the J drive jump, please?
That's
Easy.
average.
It's an easy check
Okay.
with a -1. Oh, okay. Sorry, ignore. Okay, so we'll keep that. Essentially, if you fail the astrogation check, all it means is you need to replot. You just waste the time that you've spent plotting. So give me another roll on astrogation.
It's an easy with a -2.
Yeah.
Well, just again.
Yeah, just again, but this time it succeeds. Okay. And then your roll was a 6.
Maybe a 7 to be fair, because he's got a +1 bonus, hasn't he?
modified by the task chain of the original astrogation, and then modified by anything else. You're not doing an emergency jump, so that's good. Okay, so actually there is no missed jump. I thought there was going to be a missed jump, but there isn't. Okay. So after about 7 days of travel, so you can choose between you, each of you, either give yourself another one training period, or you can decipher and crack one of the chips.
We're in
Whatever
11
you
now.
say again.
We're in 11 now, I think, training periods.
That's
I
right.
think, yeah. Remember,
Still-
you need. Is it? I can't remember how many you need.
8 to,
Eight.
to get some.
Yeah.
Because I've got 3 towards a study period at the moment, which is 11.
Yeah, I've got 11.
Yeah, I spent 8 on recon, 11 total, so I've got 3 left.
Yeah.
This would be 9 after this week, if we don't crack.
What skill is it to do that? Is it electronics, computers?
No, it's just you're giving up. I'm just going to allow you to give up your study period, your thing towards your study period, in lieu of cracking one of the chips.
I was hoping to read the Twilight's Peak book.
I'm going to let you do that outside of the as part, alongside your study period. That's something you can do at bedtime, right? For half an hour.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll give up my my training week and I'll try and crack one of these crystals. I think it's more important.
Okie doke. Give me roll me a d6, please. Would you roll 5?
5. Yeah.
Okay. On one of the chips appears to be a long list of items that are catalogued as ancient artifacts. In all cases, they seem to have a name, a physical description, and a function. In the majority of cases, the physical description, the name appears to be something that Bernadetta has just given it. For example, one such, and also, in some instances there is a location, and a number of them are listed as location MOTA. And in an appendix, you'll find that MOTA stands for Museum of the Ancients.
Oh.
In another one, particularly, it says SOR. And that appears
Sorrel.
to be sorrel.
Yeah, I thought that.
This one is listed simply as the jewel. Description: a multifaceted, changes colour when held to light, approximately 2.3 centimetres in diameter and 0.7 centimetres thick. Function: the function says material appears to be extremely hard. There's kind of, in fact, it's not just function. There appears to be a section on function and a section on other detail. Composed of a variety of exotic materials in a matrix of carbon. Composition unlikely to be natural in origin. Reacts weirdly to electromagnetic stimuli by either glowing or becoming warm. Magnets in close proximity to the jewel become less effective. Some magnets have been known to melt. Appears to act as a radiation sink.
And does that match the description of the jewel that we have?
Correct.
Fantastic.
It says, based on rudimentary study, out to approximately 2 meters from whoever carries the jewel exists a sphere of sort of an anomaly that soaks up radiation
That could be handy.
and stores it.
Is that all radiation?
Ionizing radiation. So
Huh.
yes, effectively. Also noted, it says in one note, provides some protection against energy weapons, as noted in light beam testing.
So somebody stood in the middle of it holding it while the other one shot them with that laser gun.
Correct.
The reason I was asking all radiation because like light is electromagnetic radiation, so
Yeah. So it provides a level of protection. It provides a level of protection against radiation. Specifically, mechanically speaking, in game terms, this is actually
Gem of +1 protection.
it's actually better than that. It conveys protection of 2 dice against energy weapons.
Ooh.
would it interfere with any visual or thermal sensors?
There are no notes there to answer that question.
I'll leave
There
that
is
one. I'll
nothing-
leave that one with you, and I may test it at some point. Oh,
There is
no,
nothing
yeah.
in the testing notes, etc.
Yeah.
So this particular chip that you have gives you a +1 on investigate checks when trying to figure out something connected with the ancients. That could be there are 2 additional files on this chip that are of interest. The first is just labelled on the ancients. And it says, it just says author Bernadetta Khaled. And it reads, the ancients, they existed for sure. Current theory, mine, is that the ancients were not a single group, multiple sources of activities, plus they fought amongst themselves. Also different ways of tackling the same problem. So there were factions. I've discounted the possibility the ancients fought an external enemy. Must be factions. And I believe the ancients were artificial intelligences, possible upload of subconsciousness. I think they built supercomputers to do stuff for them and became servants of their creators. Lots of fleshy mortals making up ancient society, but the real brains were computers, or transferred to computers. They dreamed the big dreams, got the people to do the work, fell out amongst themselves and fought. Didn't care about the fleshes. This explains a lot of what we know happened. Maybe they took one another out by killing off the servitor populations. Maybe the servitors rebelled. That explains the war machines on Vland. Explains, bit of a strong word, but the concept fits the hypothesis. So servitors, humanity and Varga for sure. Others, maybe, Droin are real scared of ancient gear. Maybe they remember something. I'd ask you Sote, but he's got a disintegrator with my name on it these days. Another fence to mend. Or maybe Mercedes knows something. She'll want the ship back in return, I bet. Things to ponder. And then the second one is another file authored by Bernadetta that's just entitled Yusote. So Y-U-S-O-T-E. Yusote, Droin leader, unknown origin. Andor and Kandari deny ever hearing of him, but I know his ship has been there. In possession of advanced tech, life support suit, disintegrator weapon, fanatical followers. Ancient gear? Not sure. Seems to be looking for something, willing to trade information. Well, was. He must have figured out I lied about the site on Melior, but then so did he about what he found on Judas. Almost got me killed. So, don't trust Yusote. Active in the Five Sisters around 1090, fell off the scanner for a decade, turns up at Glisten claiming to be an ambassador for a community that doesn't exist. Again, don't trust Yusote. He was right about Omicron division, though. They are, indeed, a thing. I'll post those into the game system for next week.
Brilliant. On this list of items, there isn't anything that matches the description of that chunk that's in our ship.
Nope.
Ah.
No, actually, there probably would be, and it's literally what it corroborates what Blanca told you. If as appears to be a transponder that registers the ship as friendly when in close proximity to ancient ruins. And it just says, note, can sometimes play havoc with mathematical equations or jump drive power specifically. So, yeah, so you get a +1 DM when using the contents of that file to understand anything related to the ancients.
Ooh.
In addition, is it? Oh, it's earliest, page 75. Be glad to know you've made it to triple figures in pages now.
Well, hey.
Way hey, indeed. So, you have the Twilight. You have the Twilight book. And you have the works of Professor A. I believe the works of Professor A convey a further +1 DM to artifact, to ancients analysis and knowledge. Okay. All right, you arrive in Aki. It is a Type B starport. It does indeed offer refined fuel, and there is, of course, a cost associated with it. The cost to berth the ship is going to be 1,500 credits. And you can purchase refined fuel. You will need to purchase 20 tons of it, I believe, because you've used 20 tons for jumping.
Yep.
Which means that will be quite expensive from memory. Yes, that's going to be 10,000 credits for the fuel. But you spend a day in Aki or on the station of Aki. It's, a bit of R&R, a bit of stretching your legs as you kind of get the ship ready to go. And then you power out towards Caledonia, I believe. Okay. Give me an astrogation roll, please.
Now, Mehdi, are you heading left or are you heading right from Aki? Are you going up or across to get to which course are you plotting?
It's going to be there and then there, I reckon. But I'm going to ask Marcus to activate that switch.
Okay. Go for it. All right, you power.
Really? Is that wise?
Well, Sorrel's there looking at for ancient stuff. That's my theory.
But it's not known as an ancient system.
If she's gone missing, it might be an unknown system, I suppose. I don't think it'll do any harm, will it?
I don't think so. Unless I completely mess up the roll.
Astrogation, now we end up in the middle of the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's going to be a minus to that, isn't there now? So it's easy, but I've got a minus.
1.
So you're going to have a cumulative -3 to do your calculations.
Oh.
Be a good roll, you goddamn dice.
No problem. Okay. And then can I get the J drive jump, please, which is going to be an easy minus -1. Easy -1.
With a +2.
With a +2. So a net of
+1.
+1. You can only really fail this on Snake Eyes, I think.
Don't say that.
No problem. Okay. Can I get my usual how much time in jump space do you spend roll? Thank you very much with those amazing jump space dice. 176 hours. I love those dice. 7 1/3 days. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Well, I was going to ask if I could use those 7 days to have a look at another crystal.
You absolutely can.
Yep.
Give me a D6 roll, please.
Rambo number 1.
The file that you, or the crystal that you get seems to be somewhat damaged, and as try as you might, you can't pull all the data off it. But the bits that you get seem to be referring to something called Omicron division. You spot entries that suggest Bernadetta and crew cited Omicron division in Glisson, Aster, and Trexelon. So Glisson you obviously know, Aster ASTER, and Trexelon TREXALON systems. What exactly Omicron division is, there is no clear information. You also are able to, in that time, decipher another crystal that seems to be a bunch of code names with weather patterns associated to them. What those code names mean, you have no clue. But it's clearly world level weather systems. The other two of you can obviously add one more training period towards your study time that you need.
Mhm.
Sacrificing myself.
Okay, I mean, Amy towards getting investigators to help out.
As you jump in, give me a sec. Where is the notes on this? As you jump into the Caledonia system, and specifically the calculations that you've made for Califaction, which appears to be the world that this Fuller experimental mining installation is situated upon. Immediately, warning klaxons and alarms go off. Your front view screen is filled by this gigantic red gas giant, swollen, bloated, that appears to be consuming anything in its path. Califaction itself sits incredibly close to the edge of the corona of this gas giant. The warning systems that go off report space winds and high levels of radiation. Califaction itself appears to be a solid core of dense material. Overall, significantly smaller than Earth, but with a surface gravity that is measuring at approximately 1.09 G, with almost zero planet rotation.
Any signs of
Recommendation: plot course to avoid direct exposure to sun. Ship unable to take high exposure.
I'm going to take that jewel out from where I put it and put it into my
Mhm.
man pocket.
Okay. Are you? All right. Do me a favour. Do me a favour. Give me a sec. I need to find the page it's on, but I need you to do me something. Do me. Can you give me an int check, please? At very difficult.
Intelligence.
Yes.
Fries your mind.
Okay. Just make a note that you need to make another int check in 6 days' time, so approximately day 176. But as you kind of pull out that gem and kind of study it and look at it just before putting it into your pocket, almost for the first time, you feel like the gem has something that needs to be unlocked.
I believe he said he was putting it in his man pocket.
He did say he was putting it in his man pouch. All right, pilot. Immediately, you can feel the heat coming, almost like burning through the shield, and you do get a sense that you will need to match course to ensure that the planet remains between you. Your ship remains between the planet and the sun. And the planet itself is moving at this fairly erratic kind of movement. Can you give me a pilot check, please? You can roll it against average, but that's not the number I really need. But for now, just roll it against average.
Nice.
What is that? An 11? No, a 12. Okay. Expertly, you handle the garnet like you've been flying her forever, bringing
Brought a
your
chair with me.
Yep.
ship into the dark side of Califaction. There is a on the sensors there appears to be a canyon that holds the only major sort of cluster of people further out, but what appears to be in the exposed sun side of Califaction, you pick up tiny senses of humanoid life as well. Again, clustered in a single location. Quick computation suggests there is zero chance you can navigate your ship to what you believe that tiny blip in the full exposed sunlight of the planet, of the sun. There is zero chance you can get your ship there without it sustaining irreparable damage.
I'm hoping they've built an underground railway then.
The option you have, therefore, is to head to this other installation, which has a slightly larger cluster of individuals, seemingly currently in the dark side of the planet.
I
Can
hope
you
it's not
give
called
me
crematorium, is it? Because I don't want to be the big bald guy who cares about family.
a pilot check, please?
That's going to be out soon, isn't it?
The new one.
Yeah, Furia.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Okay. You have two choices. You are going to have an unscheduled interaction with terrain, which will do some damage to the ship's hull as you try and navigate this snaking tight canyon. But you will, outside of that damage, arrive at the settlement without any additional issues. If you want to attempt to negate that whole damage, then you will pop up out into direct starlight for a period of time. But each period of time will, once again, cause your ship to be in direct starlight, which will result in your ship getting approximately 500 to 1500 rads per hour of radiation. Your ship, let's have a look. Will also significantly overheat. And overheating causes damage. Essentially, this is an incredibly brutal and hostile environment.
Suck it up and take the whole damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody roll a d6 for me, please.
Pilot.
Three. Okay, so I'm going to repurpose. For now, I'm just going to repurpose our ship from, where have I put it? The Sabaris Phoenix. I'm going to keep her, I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to call the new one the Garnet.
Knackered. So 3 means it's missing like this part here.
I'm going to give you 3 points of hull damage. As you clip the side of the canyon as you fly in, I am going to give you I'm going to give you a +1 on your sensors. So you've got a +1 on the sensors for your sensor roll on the ship. Okay. You should all have access to the Garnet now. So I'm just going to replace that with the Garnet. Okay. The journey down the canyon takes approximately 4 hours of incredibly grueling flying done by Carver. This, in all the time the three of you have been together, this is probably the first time Carver's earned his pay for real.
Get
As he
fucked.
throws, well, in terms of flying the ship, as he throws the ship around very
Volcano! Fucking volcano behind us.
volcano. Second time.
Christ on a bike.
Sorry, I forgot all about the volcano. Yes, the second time. This is the second time he's demonstrated his skill and capabilities as the ship's pilot. the typical. So you find yourselves down in where is it? Actually, let me take you to this map really quickly. We're actually going to get close to kind of calling it a night in a second because I don't really want to go too much further. I think this is it. Okay, so that's not quite what I thought it was. All right, so yeah, so this is the canyon here that you're flying, and you kind of come in from the dark side into the canyon, and you follow the canyon to what is essentially here, which is the settlement.
Is that a small exhaust pod that I can fire a missile?
You can fire
Brilliant.
yeah.
That's a Womp Rat.
The canyon itself wends its way from the Falco Mountains to its terminus point about 200 kilometers away as the crow flies. Typically, the canyon is in some places as narrow as 100 meters wide, and other places as wide as 200 meters. But in places is approximately 5 kilometers deep. It provides a safe point of egress and exit to the cold faces of calefaction and the ability for you to exit out into space, keeping the planet itself between you and direct sunlight. You note as you kind of fly down not so much Carver, but Sinclair and Brent notice that the floor of the canyon has been smoothed out completely, its entire length. And in several places, man-made.
Man-made, right.
And in several places, it seems that natural ramps up to the surface of the planet have been smoothed out as well.
It's Haggard Rift, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, this is Haggard Rift. This has been completely... this is the closest to an underground transit system that exists on the planet.
Yeah, okay.
As you approach the end of the line, the radio splutters to life. Shelter admin to approaching ship. Identify yourself, please.
Admin, this is the Garnet. Just making our way in. We okay to approach?
Size of ship, please.
Give them the size.
It's 100 tons. I think you're 100 tons.
100 tons,
yeah.
100 tons. Okay. Landing area is clear on the right-hand side. Please be aware that the left-hand side has a number of refit ATVs. Approach slow and with caution. Also, make sure you are not exposed in any way to sunlight as you approach. We do not have anti-rad facilities available.
Understood. Cautious approach. Approach from the right. Avoid the ATVs.
Roger. You are cleared for entry. And as you come in to the settlement, you essentially are guided to this area here. and to one of the several kind of marked pads. So this lower half here seems to be occupied with various crates and ATVs and stuff that all appear to be in various bits of and state of repair. And you're kind of guided into the upper quadrant. You probably only fill one of those bays, but you get the sense that each of these bays, which is just kind of marked areas out on the ground, really just represents, rough estimates of ship size. What do you see? You see what appears to be a large number of fixed sensor antenna surrounding the settlement. These seem to be pointing inwards and upwards. You note as you approach that as you kind of cross the perimeter of this, sort of coming in probably from this end actually, and then kind of cutting across, you note that the radiation readings seem to diminish quite significantly as you cross that threshold and into the clear air around the settlement.
I'm assuming the twos are something like creating that field?
Correct, yes. Each of the twos represents cans of... Each of these is essentially a pylon that appears to be a dampening system designed to dampen the amount of radiation that exists within the scope of the settlement. Everywhere else, the radiation, even inside the dark areas, is significantly higher than you would want to tolerate for a long period of time.
So it's not a cave; it's still an open. It's open to the elements. It's canyon still.
It's just deep, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just very deep. Yes.
So
You
it'll limit the time it's in direct exposure.
Correct.
So when it's in that particular point, but you'll still get the radiation, and that's why they got the dampener fields.
You'll notice here appears to be two rocket ships that are pointing upwards. Based on specifications, as you kind of come in and you do your quick scan and stuff, they would appear to be EAVs, emergency ascent vehicles. You'll have seen these on various planets where the environment is harsh enough that in serious emergencies, people would just jump onto these ships and just get out of Dodge and just abandon everything.
GTFO for vehicles.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. They consist of an overpowered drive module and a control area with 4 rings of 8 personal survival pods in between. They are designed simply to get you away from the planet as far and fast as possible. What else? There seems to be a tunnel here and a ramp downwards here. This appears to be the main building. You have no idea what this is, but there is one ATV parked just inside here, so you assume it might be some kind of ATV hangar. And this is a roadway down into the canyon that you've been following. There is another building here. No idea its function. Can't tell. This
everybody
is...
outside walking.
I'll come to that in a second.
Sorry.
The answer is no, there isn't. There are a couple of small ATVs rushing backwards and forwards between various buildings. There are nobody out physically on foot. This appears to be power generators. This is a rather large tower. It's a fine cone with an array of antenna on top. Yeah. No idea what this building is. It seems to be scientific in nature.
Okay, so our job is to disable the escape rockets, take down the power modules so the shield drops, and then get the fuck out. Okay, understood.
Hold them ransom first.
So the settlement, when you arrive, there are a couple of ATVs moving on the canyon floor as you approach. One heading away from the settlement, one heading to the settlement. The settlement itself holds a design that screams kind of earthquake proofing. You would probably need to manually refuel the ship yourself. The requirement, there are probably a couple of people moving around between buildings. They will all be wearing hazmat suits, vac suits. The settlement itself appears to be in constant semi-darkness, protected by the high walls of the canyon. The cold side of the canyon, which is this side, is brightly lit. And ringed by nuclear dampeners. And I think as your ship touches down, that's where we'll call it a night.
I'm sure that hull damage will buff out.
Yeah.
I was thinking if one of you is going to manually refuel, I'll be working on hammering the vents out.
The ship has some scuffs and a bit of dings here and there, but better than being very, very irradiated.
Yeah, I'd rather possibly have kids at some point in the future.
Yeah. So essentially, this is an incredibly harsh planet.
It's not rotating, though, is it? It's always in the dark side.
It's rotating incredibly slowly.
The dotted lines between 5 and 7, are they an actual road we can see, or
you can't see
the
them?
ground?
So they're tunnels.
Yeah, I guess either tunnels or a road, but
yeah. So
I don't know what we can see.
So this building here is kind of it will be just a sealed area which allows you to go down into tunnels that have been carved underground and then up into what is essentially the admin building, but also go off this way towards what's known as the bright side of the planet, which is probably not necessarily the best of places to go right now.
That was where the other life signs were, wasn't it?
Correct.
What's the bet? That's where Sorrel is.
You know full well that you will probably have to go over the bright side of the planet.
Yeah.
As part of your journey here. So, hope you enjoyed tonight, guys.
Really good.
A lot of info thrown at you, and this is still very much setting the scene. Believe it or not, you're like 110 pages into the campaign, and you're still really just setting the scene.
No, I can believe it.
We need to find a parasol shop.
It gets exciting pretty quickly.
I need to get some Factor 5000.
You need to get Factor 5000 and a radiation gem.
Yeah.
Was it just the one gem that was the same, or were they all the...
You only had the one gem. You had a number of vials that contained very strange metals. Yes.
I think it's as long as it's 2 meters circumference, isn't it?
Yeah.
So as long as we're all stood next to each other, we'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah.
Is that
Sure.
the one that reacted to me, or was that something else? Yeah,
That's
okay.
the one that reacted to you. Yeah.
I wonder if that's how
All
you
right.
activate it.
I'm going to bring the server down because I know my good friend Jerry is running his Cthulhu game tomorrow.